On the line right now is Brandon Lang. Brandon, good morning. There was talk.
There's so many things.
Talk last night.
Boston's manager did wrong.
Oh yeah,
McNamara in that inning.
Yeah.
First of all, Buckner with his limp should have never been out there in the first place. It's absolutely amazing. Mitchell talks about the fact he was basically back in the locker room naked when they had to come get him and put his pants on, and evidently he said he didn't put underwear on. I mean, it's epic, the stuff that came out in the 30 for 30 piece on Buckner. Not 30 for 30 piece, but they did something about so-and-so's not to blame for the reason why they lost, and you can find it online. And it's 5 reasons why Bill Buckner's not to blame for the Red Sox loss. And then they take you through the mistakes that were made leading up to Buckner's error. But
well,
incredible.
It's terrible for a player. I mean, talk about a gamer, this guy, Buckner. And to be after such an amazing career, to be remembered for that one play. It is interesting that he and Mookie Wilson do a tour where they go around and they speak to groups. It's kind of cool that the two of them can do that after all these years. It's cool. But we're talking about Vin Scully, Brandon, and last night Joe Buck was talking about the possibility that maybe Vin Scully would maybe call an inning or two. I just think he's the greatest when it comes to baseball commentary.
Living in L.A., having gone to a ton of Dodger games, what I remember more vividly is people would have their headphones on and they would be at the game, but they'd be listening to Vin Scully call the game while being at the game.
Wasn't that guy with the Chicago Cubs fan? Wasn't he wearing headphones too during that whole incident? What's his name there?
Harry Carey,
Bartman,
whatever.
Steve Bartman. The amazing thing about Vin Scully is he told a story. And if you listen to him as much as I did, in between pitches, he always would tell you, so he would say, called strike 2. His mother said back in 1947 that she knew he was going to be a baseball player. Would you know it? He's here today. Here's the 2-1 pitch. And that's what made him, he's incredible. And then he threw out the first pitch, and if you watched it last night, and I had the Dodgers in Game 1, I had the Astros last night, so I'm 2-0 in the World Series, and he was going to throw out the first pitch, and then he grabbed his shoulder, and he said he was hurt, and he called the dugout for someone to come out, and then here came Fernando Valenzuela, and Fernando threw out the first pitch, and it was just a little Hollywood drama to start the game, and then we had a game that was just one of the best games. I stayed up late to watch the whole thing. One of the greatest games I've ever seen in my life, ever.
Yeah. Wow. How many home runs? I mean, that just was in extra innings. It was like one shot after another. It was just crazy last night.
8 home runs. 8 home runs total. But, home run in the top of the 9th to tie it, and then a home run in the top of the 10th to take the lead, and then a home run to get back within one in the bottom of the 10th. I mean, it was then a home run in the top of the 11th, and then a home run in the bottom of the 11th. I mean, it was it was ridiculous.
All right, let's talk a little football here. Tonight, Miami at Baltimore. Miami beating the Jets last weekend, coming from behind. I thought the Jets had that game.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. Matt Moore came in, and it makes you realize that maybe the Dolphins didn't have to sign Jay Cutler after all. That Matt Moore played pretty darn good last year and probably deserved the right to be their quarterback, and he just sat there and waited and waited. When he got his shot, he came in and did an unbelievable job. But all things being said, I think under the posted totals to play here, Dolphins under 5 of their last 6 this year, and you look at Case as a regular season dog, 7-3 against the spread. My lean would be toward maybe the Dolphins in the under, but I've been stung by the Ravens a couple of times this year, so there's 4 college games tonight that I'll probably put on the website, but I'll probably stay away. I think the under's the play.
All right, let's go into the weekend. The Raiders are playing in Buffalo.
Well, I went on the website Sunday. My big play was your Buffalo Bills, bought down to 2.5, and was thrilled to death on the 3rd and 9 play under 2 minutes to pick up that first down, which allowed them to run the clock down to 14 seconds when they kicked the field goal.
Yeah.
People don't understand, time management. That was a gutsy call by the head coach, McDermott, to step up and throw there, not caring if it was incomplete and they stopped the clock, because he knew we pick this up, we take this down in about 15 seconds.
Yeah.
And to get that first down, it delivered a big winner for me. And so I'll come right back with the Bills here. I'm not sold on the Oakland Raiders. I know they've played pretty good on the East Coast last year, but I just don't think that they're as good as everybody thinks they are. I'm going to go with Buffalo again. Buy it down to 2.5 and come right back with them.
You know, two thoughts. Talk about this buying it down, because actually your picks last week, you mentioned one of them. You had the Bills, who were +3, the line that I saw, and then I had you had take the Jets plus the points, and the Jets, I believe, were getting 3. Talk about this buying down or buying up this 0.5 point, because to be honest, I don't know what that.
Okay, so when you deal with a 3 number in the NFL, most of the time, a lot of these games will fall on 3. And when you make a normal bet, you bet 110 to win 100. 10% VIG, 10% juice, 110 to win 100.
Sure.
So why are you going to sit there and dealing with a 3 number? Why wouldn't you buy off that 3 number, spend an extra 20 cents, and buy down to 2.5, buy the 0.5 point? Or if you like the underdog, as I did with the Jets, buy it up to +3.5. Spend the 20 cents. So you're betting 130 to win 100, but you protected yourself by creating value, taking it down to 2.5. Or with the underdog, buy it to +3.5. Therefore, if the game falls on 3, as the Bills did, you were advised to buy down to 2.5. You got yourself a winner. And it's smart money management only when you deal with the 3, the 7, the 10, the 14, the 17, the 20.
Right. Okay.
Because most of the time those games fall on those numbers, and it's not like you're spending 170 to buy that 0.5 point. It's a great value number of 130. Some books will offer 120, and it's just a smart thing to do. Buy off that number. Add a 0.5 if you're taking a dog. Subtract the 0.5 if you're taking the favorite. Buffalo deliver the winner.
Okay, I know very little about this. So somebody said that if you bet on Syracuse against Clemson that Friday night, 2 Friday nights ago, that if you put down a $100 bet, it would have paid like $4,000. How does that work? Is that you put down $100 to win? Where does that number come from?
I don't think it was that much.
Okay. But how does it work? Tell me how it works.
It's essentially, it's a money line bet, and you're basically saying that Vegas had, and I'll give it to you right now, as I break it down for you, that's like betting a boxer who's 400 to 1 to beat Mike Tyson.
Okay.
It's I'll tell you what the money line was. I don't know if it was 4,000. I had Syracuse plus the points. I could never put on the website, take them on the money line simply because it's outrageous, but here you go right here, line movements. So the money line was, they don't have it up now. Oh, here it is. No. So the money line was, they were plus 1,000. So you bet 100, you would have won 1,000. So essentially they were 10 to 1.
Yeah.
They were 10 to 1. They were a 10 to 1 underdog to win the game, which why not just take 100? The big one, I think the big one was Howard was a 45-point underdog against UNLV when they won. Mm-hmm. Now, if Syracuse was plus 1,000, plus 24, I would eventually to say that Howard would have been 3,000.
Yeah.
So $100 would have won you 3,000, which it's a $100 bet. Why not take a shot with it? Mm-hmm. But this is Syracuse's coach said, I really felt we're going to win this game outright.
I got to tell you, that is a bet I would have taken had I known knew it existed. I really felt in my heart that Syracuse was going to knock off Clemson, and it's just a feel based on him. Really, it was just based on him and the way Syracuse had played. And so you lose $100. I know that nobody wants to take as my wife says, it's like burning $100. Why would you do that? But, paying out 1,000, that's not bad. That's a pretty good incentive right there.
Yep, absolutely.
Money line is different.
That's your money line.
Money line is different than buying.
You don't get
spread.
any points, right? You don't get any points on the spread, right?
Win or lose.
Yeah.
All right. You have to win the game.
All right.
That's the reason why you're getting 10 to 1.
Let's see. I'll throw out a couple more before we let you go. Atlanta at the Jets.
Jets home dog. Keep getting it done. Beat the Jags, which we were watching the Jags last week. Shut out Indianapolis. That looks real good. I'm going to take the Jets plus the points. I think Atlanta's got serious problems with Steve Sarkisian and their offense, and to go into New England and not be able to move the ball against that defense where Cam Newton put up 36 and Deshaun Watson put up 30 and Alex Smith put up 42, pretty embarrassing. I think Atlanta's in trouble. I'm going to take the home dog Jets.
Packers off this weekend.
Yeah,
and,
they got
and
a bye week.
And the Giants a much needed moment to take a breather.
We'll take the rest of the season. That's
Dallas at Washington. How about that? The late game on Sunday.
I'm going to take the home dog. I've said this time and time again. You get Kirk Cousins at home as a home dog. He's pretty lethal. He really is. Dallas, literally on a 4-9 spread run, last 13 on the Vegas board. I'm going to take Washington plus the points.
All right. Listen, we've learned a little bit today. I like that. And how you can go to your website and get a lot of information, get these picks and get some advice. It's BrandonLang.com. As we go into week number 8, Brandon, as always, thanks so much. We'll talk again next week.
Thanks, Big Phil.
All right.
Bye, guys.
Cool. Got a break.